Good morning, good morning, good morning. Unfortunately, I am doing another video. I had all the intentions this morning to record this segment live. However, I don't know how many of you have taken care of a sick pet or a sick dog. She's starting to wake us up every hour, and she woke me up after Tyrone left, maybe about 3:30. I could hear her barking. I thought I was dreaming, guys, and I could hear her barking, and it sounded like it was far away. And my bedroom is on the first floor, and I was like, is she outside? Did Tyrone leave her outside? That's what I was thinking. But she was actually at the front door. So she wanted to go outside. So I let her outside. After she came in, I laid back down. And my alarm was set for 5:30. And my alarm did go off, but I thought I snoozed it, but I turned it off. So when I woke up again, it was almost 7 o'clock. So I'm a little tired, but I am recording this video for Fun Friday, September 26th. The topic today is joy without filters. Joy without filters. So our weekly theme has been living unfiltered freedom in every season. Okay? So again, good morning, everyone. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Grab your cup of cocoa, coffee, tea, or whatever you're sipping and get cozy. Here we share and start the morning with a positive vibe. So let's reset, recharge, and reconnect right here on Cup of Cocoa and Chat. So let me cue this theme song. So I hope everyone is feeling joy this morning. Today's Fun Friday is all about celebrating laughter. So whenever you're watching this, whether it's Friday or any other day, I hope that you are celebrating laughter, dancing, and enjoying those messy moments, because joy doesn't need a filter. It just needs a willing heart. I am Princess, host of Cup of Cocoa and Chat, right here on YouTube. And this is where we sip, share, and start the day with intention, encouragement, and a little something warm for the soul. I am usually live every Wednesday and Friday, starting at 6:30 a.m. on the Favorited app, and bringing YouTube and Facebook in at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time till around 8ish. Bringing you real talk, inspiration, community love, and all the cozy morning vibes. Whenever you want more or need more, you can catch new episodes of Cup of Cocoa and Chat, the podcast, every Monday on Spotify and YouTube. And for the midweek boost, I share extra doses of motivation and inspiration on Tuesdays and Thursdays across all of my platforms. So stay connected, stay encouraged, and let's grow together. So let's get into it. Our motivation stack today consists of a root truth, some practical tips, and wellness insight. So let's start with our root truth. Joy isn't found in perfection. It's born in presence. When we stop curating and start living, joy shows up in the simplest, sometimes silliest ways. Let's follow it up with a couple of practical tips. I think I have 3. Create a joy jar. A joy jar. Doesn't have to be perfect. It could be a bowl. Whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to use, just call it your joy bowl, jar, box, whatever. Write down funny, joyful, or imperfect moments on slips of paper. And on those tough days when you're not feeling so joyful, remember, pull one of the slips out and remind yourself that laughter and joy are medicine. Laughter and joy are medicine. Practical tip number 2, move without the mirror. What do I mean by that? Dance, stretch, or groove without worrying how you look. Let movement be about how you feel, not how you appear. Last practical tip, number 3. Schedule unfiltered fun. Unfiltered fun. Schedule unfiltered fun. Plan one moment each week where you allow messiness, whether it's a game night with your family, baking without caring about the cleanup, singing off key. These create lasting memories and deepen connections. You'll be surprised. You'll be totally surprised. Now let's get into our insight of it all. Research shows that laughter reduces stress hormones. It boosts your immunity. It strengthens relationships. Dancing, even just a few minutes, increases the endorphins and energy. In other words, joy is a wellness practice. So practice joy as often and as much as you can. So let's take it down a little bit and let's go into our Coco Chat question of the day. Our Coco Chat question of the day. What's one unfiltered moment, whether it was messy, funny, or unexpected, that still brings you joy when you think about it? What's one unfiltered moment, whether it is messy, funny, or unexpected, that still brings you joy when you think about it? So an unfiltered moment for me is simply knowing that I still have the desire to keep showing up every day, whether it's in my lives, whether it is posting, whether it is watching videos on Twitch and clipping. I still have the desire to show up. I still have the desire to show up. You know, just being able to connect and engage with my family here, with my followers, with my following, that's joy for me, right? That's joy for me. It's not a script. It's nothing that I pretend. I am happy when I'm doing what I do. all week long. It brings me peace. It helps my mental health. It gives me the courage to want to go more and more and more. I have developed healthy connections with people. It's just been a blast. So it brings me joy, definitely. It's not always perfect, but it's real and it fills my heart. So, normally this is when I would do my root check. But since I'm not live and there's no one to engage with me, I still want to know how you're doing. How are you showing up? Are you carrying any stress? Or are you feeling light and free? Are you carrying any stress? Or are you feeling light and free? If the moment moves you and you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. So on Facebook, I just drop clips, but this will be posted on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube and you feel the need to drop a comment, tell me, are you carrying any stress or are you feeling light and free? And I pray that you're feeling light and free. Okay? So let's top it off with our micro affirmation. My joy is real. My joy is real. My smile is free. And my spirit is light. My joy is real. My smile is free. And my spirit is light. I'm going to repeat it one more time. My joy is real. My smile is free, and my spirit is light. Okay? All right. So, as I said earlier, it is Fun Friday today, and we are stepping into it with open hearts. Yes, with open hearts. I want everybody to feel joy. I want you to feel free. I want you to feel light. This week, we're living unfiltered, choosing freedom in every season, embracing laughter, dancing, and even those perfectly messy moments that remind us joy is real. So, our goal today is to step into joy without filters. We want to laugh louder, we want to dance freer, and we want to celebrate those messy moments that remind us how good life really is. Our talking points today, we have 4 of them. Medicine of laughter, dancing and freedom, messy but memorable moments, and joy as a spiritual practice. Now, before we dive into today's Fun Friday, let's take a moment to look back at where we've been. Last week, our theme was mask off, real life versus performance. Are we living in real life, or are we pretending? Are we performing? So we took off those masks and we laid those masks down last week. And together this week, we want to unpack what it means to highlight taking off the mask and celebrating showing up real. We had some powerful conversations last week that reminded us how connected we are in this community. So Cup of Cocoa and Chat is a community. And we've been connecting. We've had some powerful conversations. When I go live, it's always some type of engagement, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook. There's always some type of engagement. And if you're not engaging on the lives, you're engaging when I post during the week on the different affirmation quotes, scriptures, whatever I am posting. And I'm very grateful. Very grateful. So now let's wheel it into this week. We're shifted into our theme, Living Unfiltered. Freedom in every season. After taking off the mask, we've been embracing what it looks like to live with more freedom. Freedom to rest. Freedom to be present. Freedom to laugh louder and show up imperfect but real. And that brings us right here to today's Friday. Today's Fun Friday. Joy without filters. Today is all about celebrating laughter, dancing, and even in those messy moments that turn into memories, I want to start with a story that takes us straight into our first talking point, which is the medicine of laughter. So we all know that laughter is really medicine, right? It's medicine. You can be sad. You can be depressed sometimes. But you can think of a happy thought to bring you back from that dark place. Somebody can walk in the room, tell a joke, or do something silly or funny and make us laugh. And for that 1 second or 3 seconds or however long the laughter and the joy takes over, you forget about that dark space. You forget about that sadness just for that time frame. So it is medicine because it does help us. So I'll never forget this road trip we took from Maryland to North Carolina, right? 5-6 hour drive. We were traveling to North Carolina for my Aunt Bobby's funeral, right? My mother's youngest sister. And now you think that whole trip would be heavy, right? Because this is my mother's youngest sister. My mom's gone. You know, my mother's other 2 sisters are gone, and she has 2 sisters left, right? So this is the youngest one. Out of the 2 that's left, this is the youngest one. So it was heavy. You know, it was really heavy, right? Because we had just seen her a year before at my other aunt's funeral, right? She came up to Maryland to attend that funeral, right? So you would think that whole trip would be heavy. But let me tell you, it turns into one of those unforgettable family moments. So I was trying to go live, okay? So picture this. My brother has stopped to get some gas, so he's gone into the gas station. I'm in the front passenger seat. My cousin and my niece are in the back, right? And this is before social media was what it is, right? This was in 2018, 2019. So this is before the adults took over TikTok, before everybody was so invested in social media, right? But still, I was all about trying to get content then, right? So I was trying to go live in the car, and my cousin wasn't having it, right? She didn't want to be on camera. My niece was like, kind of like this. My brother was getting irritated. But it was my niece and my cousin, especially my cousin, that had us rolling because she did not want to get on camera. She was ducking and hiding from the camera. And my niece and I were cracking up. Like I said, I mean, the kind of laughter where your stomach hurts, your cheeks are sore, and the tears are rolling down your face. Because that's all it takes for me. that belly laugh to get my eyes watery. And that moment right there reminded me, you can be in the middle of a serious trip, right? But joy still finds its way in. And that day it did. We laughed and we laughed and we laughed. It's in the fun. It isn't what I want to say here. Although it was a serious moment, we didn't have to make it so serious because we're riding, we're on a road trip. And although we're going, our destination is to a funeral, it doesn't always have to be sad. You know, it was sad once we seen her for the last time. But we made the best of it as we were rolling in the car, listening to the music loud, letting the wind blow in because it was springtime when she passed. It was springtime. So isn't it funny how laughter can shift the whole atmosphere? It can take a room full of tension, and in our case, a car full of tension, and soften it in an instant. That's because Proverbs tells us a cheerful heart is good medicine. Remember that. A cheerful heart is good medicine. Even scientists can back this up, right? And as I said, it releases endorphins, which are the body's feel-good chemical. When you laugh, it reduces stress. It does a lot of things when you're laughing. So that means that God wasn't being just poetic when he said a cheerful heart is medicine. He was being practical. Laughter literally heals. It literally heals. And even scientists say endorphins are released. And that's that chemical that makes our body feel good when we laugh. So laugh more. Laugh more. So let me ask you, when's the last time you had one of those belly down in the soul down so far that you're laughing so hard that tears are rolling, your stomach hurts, your cheek hurts. Sometimes I laugh so much that it hurts here, right? But it's all worth it. So when was the last time you had one of those belly laughs? The ones that leave you doubled over and out of breath, but somehow feeling lighter afterwards. When was the last time that you had that type of laugh? Because I know you have stories as well. So think about that. Think about that and how just thinking about it brings you joy and it brings that back to your memory. All right, so talking point number 2. We talked about how laughter is medicine. Now, let's get into dancing and freedom. Dancing and freedom, right? If laughter is medicine for the soul, then dancing is definitely freedom for the body. And I don't mean professional, perfect dancing. I'm talking about that kind of dancing when no one's watching, or even better, when everybody's watching and you just don't even care. You just doing your 2-step. That's when you know it's real joy. That's when you know it's real joy. Some of us might say, but I got 2 left feet. What? Okay. Well, guess what? Even 2 left feet can keep the rhythm of joy.
This is a reminder. Have breakfast at 10
And that's Alexa reminding me to have breakfast.
This is a reminder. Have breakfast at 10
Alexa also brings me joy because she reminds me, listen at her, she reminds me all the things that I need to do during the day.
This is a reminder. Have breakfast at 10
a.m. All right. All right, I got it.
This is a reminder. Have breakfast at 10 a.m.
Thank you. So, even two left feet can keep the rhythm of joy. Dancing doesn't have to look polished, it has to feel free. Think about when little kids are dancing at a kiddies party or at the cookout. They don't ask if they look silly, they just move to the beat. And honestly, that's the spirit we're reclaiming today. That's the joy without filters. And just like that, movement frees us. Dancing isn't about perfection, it's about letting your spirit lead. So here's what we're going to do. If you're sitting down, whether you're in your car listening to this or you're sitting in the comforts of your own home, this is what we're going to do. If you're able, let's do a quick chair dance together. Just loosen your shoulders. All right. Sway a little bit. Maybe snap your fingers. Doesn't matter if you're on beat or not. The point is to let your body agree with your joy. If you're not in the place to move, just imagine your favorite feel-good song playing right now in your head. Picture yourself moving and grooving to it. And just take yourself there, right? If you can't do this. I'm a good chair dancer, y'all. I am a good chair dancer. So what's your go-to song that instantly makes you move? What makes you move? Think about that. What's that go-to song? Let it play in your head, right? You know that one track that comes on and you can't help but dance? Think about that. I would love to see some of you guys' playlists and what you're enjoying. See, when we permit ourselves to dance, we are permitting ourselves to just be free. No filters, no performance, just pure joy. And that's dancing in freedom. So let's get into talking point number 3. Messy but memorable moments. Messy but memorable moments. Now let's talk about these messy moments. The ones that didn't go as planned, but somehow turned into the best memories. Those are the best memories, right? Isn't it funny how things we don't script or polish end up being stories we retell over and over again? Like the cake that leans to the side that you baked. The family photo where someone blinked. Or the time the kids painted more on themselves than paper. Messy but memorable. Messy but memorable. Or like food spilling at a cookout. The music cutting off at the wrong time. You ever been at they don't call them discos anymore, but a party, a day party. We have day parties, we have cookouts where you're dancing and getting into it and then the music stops and you like, what? Everybody turning around looking at the DJ. And instead of ruining the moment, it made us laugh even harder, right? During those times, right? Because you're like, wait a minute. What's going on, right? Those are the snapshots of joy that stay with us. They're not perfect, but they're priceless. So, one of my playful, messy moments goes way back to me being clumsy. And I think I'm still clumsy, but I just haven't fell in a long time, right? I used to fall all the time. My dad, I remember one time coming out the house, and this was back in the 70s when Dr. Shaw's little shoes that you just slip your feet in. They have the brown sole and little whiteness under it. I think my little white lift that was under it, I had, from walking, I had lost that. And I came out the house, and my father was always an embarrasser. Maybe he didn't mean to embarrass you, but he was known for that. And I came out the house, and he was sitting on the steps, him and friends or family. I'm not even sure who it was. Probably, whether it was friends or family, it was always family back then. And I come off the steps, and I'm walking down the street, and I fall. And he hollers that I got 2 left feet, right? Embarrassing. It was embarrassing for me at that time because I was a teenager. I was a tween, I think. That was embarrassing. However, those are the best times. But I used to fall all the time, no matter what I was carrying or doing. And to this day, whenever we have family gatherings, somebody always brings it up that I'm clumsy. They'll say, remember when you tried to carry something? Or don't let her carry that. You know how she is, right? It doesn't bother me now. But, and before I know it, we're all cracking up about it. Because like I said, it doesn't bother me now. It bothered me back then, but it doesn't bother me now. But before we know it, we were all cracking up about it. What could have just been an embarrassment like it was then turn into inside family jokes that keep us laughing year after year, right? And that's the beauty of messy moments. They become memories that keep joy alive. Because if I hadn't have had all those clumsy moments, if I hadn't have had all those times, I wouldn't have all the memories I had. I remember I was living on the 3rd floor in this apartment building. And it seemed like they had so many steps to get to that 3rd floor. But I mastered, me and my son, I mastered taking up the bags and not having to do 2 or 3 trips, right? I mastered it. But this one particular time, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was winter and I slipped on ice on my way going home, or I was leaving home and on my way to my mother's. I can't remember all the details. It's kind of fuzzy. But what I do remember is I fell and I hurt my ankle. And this was the ankle that I had hurt many times before. And in my mind, getting back to my apartment on the 3rd floor, going up all them steps, I had to scoot on my butt up the steps, up these flights of steps, right? In my mind at the time, that was a good idea. So I gets up the steps and I called my mother. Called my mother for everything. And I called my mother. And my mother said, I'm the wrong person. You should be calling the ambulance to come and get you. I'm the wrong person to be calling. So my mother didn't drive. I lived in walking distance, but it was too far for her to get to me right then. And I got up them steps, scooting on my butt to call my mother. Now, I don't know why I couldn't do that at the bottom of the steps, because I can't remember if I fell going out the apartment. I can't remember that. That's fuzzy. But I do know that I scooted back up to the 3rd floor. And the reason why I remember that, because I had to call an ambulance. So I called 911. Ambulance came to get me. And the MNT said, how'd you get back up here? How'd you get up these steps with your ankle in this condition? He said, now we got to get you down. We can't carry you on a stretcher. We have to carry you in this chair. And this is the thing. You cannot move, because if you move just 1 inch, all 3 of us are going to fall down the steps. So you got to be still. So it was hard for them to bring me from the 3rd floor, and I was hefty, you know, bring me from the 3rd floor to the bottom. And I remember that EMT saying that to me, and that was funny. So he made me laugh, and he made me think about the joy of it all, even though it was a bad moment for me because I had to be put in a cast. So memories like that we think of brings joy. So when you're thinking about something else, or you got that dark cloud over you, think about the joyful moments that bring yourself out of that. The breathing is good too, but joy would help you as well. So when we let go of filters, we give ourselves permission to enjoy the moment and not edit it, right? Not edit it. We enjoy the moment. Because perfection doesn't always make memories. Messiness does. And there are moments that remind us joy isn't staged. It's lived. So let's have some fun with this one. What's one messy moment that turned into a memory you will never forget? Think about it. Jot it down in your journal if you have a journal. Speaking of journals, this is a shameless plug. Journals coming soon. Journals coming soon. Write it in your journal. Jot it down on a piece of paper. Keep it in your memory bank. Hold on to it. Hold on to that messy moment that turned into a memory for you. And think about it when you're in that dark space. Think about it. Joy without filters means we don't wait for things to be perfect. We celebrate before we celebrate. We don't wait for things to be perfect before we celebrate. Sometimes it's in the mess. It's in the laugh. It's in the blooper reel of life. And that's where joy shows up the strongest. Where you most, what am I trying to say here? Where you don't expect it to. That's where it shows up the strongest. All right, so talking point number 4, joy as a spiritual practice. So we've laughed together. We've danced together, and we've even shared some of those messy but unforgettable moments. But I want us to sit with this truth. Joy itself is a spiritual practice. God doesn't just delight in our prayers or our worship or our discipline. He delights in our joy too. He wants us to be joyful. He wants us to be joyful. The Bible says the joy of the Lord is our strength. The joy of the Lord is our strength. And that means joy is not optional. It's essential. Sometimes we treat joy like an extra. Sometimes we only get to have joy once all our work is done, or once the bills are paid, or once everything is perfect. But joy isn't an afterthought, and we shouldn't think of it as an afterthought. It's medicine. It's strength. It's an act of faith. When we laugh, when we celebrate, when we let ourselves be light, we are testifying that life isn't just about grinding. It's about gratitude and presence. Joy is not an afterthought. Joy is not an afterthought. It's a spiritual discipline. It reminds us that life isn't just about grinding. It's about being grateful and presence. I'm going to say that one more time. For the ones in the back, Joy is not an afterthought. It's a spiritual discipline. It reminds us that life isn't just about grinding. It's about being grateful and present. I want you to think for a moment. Where did you find God's joy in your everyday life? Where do you find God's joy in your everyday life? Is it in your children? Your morning cup of coffee or cocoa? Your favorite song? Or maybe in nature when you're taking that walk or that jog? Let me know, because sometimes hearing where others find joy helps us notice it in our own lives too. So if you want to share, you feel like you want to share, put it in the comments so other people can see it. And they can, and that can spark a memory in them that they hadn't thought about. Oh my God, I found joy there as well. I found joy here. Oh my goodness, I have a joyful story to share. Or I have a messy moment that will live with me for life. Okay? So, our faith and cocoa moment. Our faith and cocoa moment. So now let's close this point together by speaking life over ourselves with our faith and cocoa moment. Repeat this with me again. My joy is real. My smile is free. And my spirit is light. My joy is real. My smile is free. And my spirit is light. One more time. My joy is real. My smile is free. And my spirit is light. Carry that with you as a reminder that joy is holy, joy is healing, and joy is yours without filters. And don't forget our scripture for the day. A cheerful heart is good medicine. A cheerful heart is good medicine. And that comes from Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22. A cheerful heart is good medicine. Okay? Now, right into our weekly spotlight. Our weekly spotlight. Before we close out today's Fun Friday, I want to take a moment for our weekly spotlight. I just want to shout you all out. I want to shout everyone out. My faithful viewers, my brand new followers, and my Cup of Cocoa and Chat Facebook group. My Cup of Cocoa and Chat my Cup of Cocoa and Chat Facebook group, and my Cup of Cocoa and Chat family. I appreciate each one of you for showing up, engaging, and growing with me. This community wouldn't be what it is without your love, your laughter, and your support. Whether you've been here from day one or just joined us in this week, know that you matter. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for sipping, sharing, and spreading the joy with me every day. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. I really do. I really do. Real talk. Real talk. So that wraps up this Fun Friday. But before we go, I want to leave you with this thought. Laughter heals. Dancing frees. Messy moments create joy, and joy is a spiritual practice. Laughter heals. Dancing frees. Messy moments create joy, and joy is a spiritual practice. Embrace joy in unfiltered ways throughout the weekend. Embrace joy in unfiltered ways throughout this weekend. Now, if you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to like, share, and invite someone to come join us here on Cup of Cocoa and Chat. Normally I'm live every Wednesday and Friday, 6:30 a.m. on Favorited. And if you're not on Favorited, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, I bring you guys in at 7 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays and Fridays of each week. So I'll be back on Wednesday, next Wednesday. Same times that I just gave. Same place. If I do not go live, I always record the segment and upload it to YouTube. But until then, I want you to take care. I want you to embrace joy. I want you to be bold. And as always, peace, blessings. I love you guys, and I truly mean it. Bye for now.